We got levels on levels on levels.
That's it. Or doggy, come back. Doggy.
Bro, stop trying to have sex with my dog. Bro, welcome to Talk with Yorke, bro. Welcome to Talk with Yorke. It's a fucking honour, it's a fucking privilege
you got it.
to have you here, bro.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean?
I've known you for a little minute too now. It's been a few months now, yeah?
It has been, bro.
That's it.
It's been a little while.
It's been a long time coming that I got on this thing.
It's been a bit of a journey, dude. Fucking thank you for coming on, seriously. It's dope.
It was definitely a journey to get here. This motherfucker lives far away from where I do.
Yeah, bro, it's a bit of a stint.
As if you make that travel to get to NSS and to get to mine. That is actually really impressive.
Thanks, bro.
You drive like a madman, so it's...
I do, so
I don't know how you survive.
I don't know either. I'm from the country, bro. Us country motherfuckers.
Literally on the way here, we're going through the city. Red lights everywhere. Does he give a fuck?
Oi! I did break the law earlier today by running that red light.
Oh, yeah, you did.
But bro, I fucking love it. Like, honestly, I love coming down. Like, but the reason is because I'm from the country. I'm actually used to like driving around lots of cunts who know how to drive.
Yeah.
In a sense, like, you know, they're always flogging it on the farms and they're like, you know, and it's like empty town, so people are always just ripping it around. Like, people like they're hectic, but they sort of know how to be hectic.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
It's like controlled hecticism.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
I like that. Controlled hecticism.
Yeah.
That's such like an Australian
I'm
thing.
going to coin that term, controlled hecticism. If you ever use that word, you owe me 5 cents.
Norlick, the fucking philosopher.
Hey.
The philosopher / producer / mentor.
Yeah.
Because dude, you've been dude, and props, like, you're a good fucking mentor, bro. Like,
cheers, my bro.
seriously, you're good at that, bro.
Cheers, bro. Cheers.
And as you expand, like, I'm assuming you're gonna want to be mentoring like more people as you grow.
Yeah.
And
I can't really mentor too many people at once because I'm pretty fucking busy as well.
Yeah.
So I don't really have the time to.
Yeah.
Like I'm already it's pretty hectic, man, because it's like we got Active Progress, which is like a production house. So it's like we got the video dude and we got me doing the production shit. And we got a beat maker. And we got a few things, going on. And I'm basically booked out all day, every day recording.
Yeah.
And I mean all day, every day.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally, like you said to me at the start of this week, you're like, dude, literally, because right now, like, Norlick is like teaching me the ropes a little bit because he's obviously got bigger plans to expand outside Adelaide and he's going to need someone to pick up some of the leftover work that's going to be hanging around, I'm assuming, in Adelaide. And like, I want to.
But also, you know what else it is, man? Is it's like, so people get the idea of what they're doing when they're like recording somebody or engineering or, in the case of what I'm doing is producing, even though I'm recording, mixing and mastering and shit. When I'm recording, I always have an effect on what final form the song takes on. So there's sort of like, that's where I'm like a producer. I'm like coaching people through their performance as well. I'm getting them to perform better than they even really knew they could. Yeah. That sort of stuff. But yeah, there's people get that sort of twisted in just in general in Australia, but especially I feel like in Adelaide or, smaller places like Darwin and stuff like that, because like I just noticed a lot of it ends up being like, all right, I'm a engineer or producer or whatever, so all I'm gonna do is like, recording. Cool. But it's like that's not how. Yeah, that's not music is a vibey thing, man. No one listens to music like a scientist would be reading their science. Like everyone, if you fuck with a certain style of music or a certain song or whatever, even if you're doing something and you're just like in the background, you'll still be vibing to it. And that's like the underlying thing between all styles of music that I feel like people forget about. So there's all these technical things and all that, but at the end of the day, if you don't get that energy right, like you're polishing a turd, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Put a lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, and so you got like you guys seen Talk with Yorke. This motherfucker, he's talented musically, first of all. You actually...
Thanks, bro.
No, but seriously, you're actually talented as fuck with your music.
Thanks, bro.
And also, if I'm like, going through some shit with a mix, you can hear... Okay, you don't hear the specific things I'm doing, but you can hear the energy change every single time. And the words you use to describe those energy changes are basically that aligns with how I would be. So I know you're not just randomly going like, oh,
Oh, yeah, bro. Like, you just made it sound way bigger, eh? Like...
Yeah. I know. You know what? You can tell. If you know what you're feeling when we're doing this sort of shit, then you can make it... You can make it feel better, which is what you're really trying to do with the engineering anyway.
Yep.
So I feel like you can bring something that is really lacking to... Like, the scene in general, to be honest, man, is that, like really world-class quality engineering, you know?
And, like, just so people know, like, that are watching, like, we're talking about the Adelaide scene, like...
Yeah.
Like, you're a country boy, but you're in Adelaide.
Yeah.
Like, you're an Adelaide guy. Like, how long have you been in Adelaide?
Since I was born, bro.
Oh, sure. Didn't you come from the country, bro?
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, yeah. Okay, so I've only been in, like, the city area since I was, like, 12, 13. 13 actually, pardon me. Before then it was all just country. I lived in Melbourne for like 6 months when I was a kid.
Yeah, right.
But like really like it's been like South Australia, but rural South Australia, you know?
That's fucking dope, man. And I like what you're saying about what you're trying to bring to the scene is beyond just like an ability to engineer and be on the technical side.
Yeah.
It's about like what, like you said as well, like what music is really about if you like dig beneath everything, and it's about emotion and energy and like feeling something, and there's a fucking vibe.
Yeah.
And I definitely fuck with that, and I know what you're saying. Like,
I feel like music in general, because of the ease of production, it's sort of broken down the barriers on like who can do what. It used to be, okay, I'm going to be an engineer or producer, so you've got to get an internship at some sort of studio, and like that wasn't exactly easy, or you got to go through a school, which then leads to an internship, and then like you just got to, and it sort of became a thing where it was like the people that were just naturally gifted with music weren't necessarily the ones that were guaranteed a slot in the industry. You always had to have the ability to go to uni or the ability to get an internship in the first place, or
know someone.
Yeah, all this sort of shit, you know? Yeah, or know someone. And it's like, music didn't start out like that. Music started out as like, fucking, we hadn't even developed language yet. We were just there like, ooh.
Hey.
He was sticks making songs with noises that weren't even words, but everyone was vibing hard, probably getting pretty lit.
Let's bring it back.
Like bush
bring it back to that
shit. Yeah, that's what I mean. And that's what
that is literally what your studio turns into.
Yeah,
right. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Literally, like though, and it's so true. And I was sitting with a mate the other day, just making some music, and I'm really understanding, I think more than ever, that it's like if you bring the energy and the fun into the performance, and you actually just like fuck with what you're doing, and you're not worried about the technical side of stuff. Then like that resonates. The
thing is, man, like, and I can say this because I like to think I'm pretty dope at, so my niche is like hip hop, right? But
and like spoiler alert, this motherfucker can produce, man. Like I'm not just bringing him in for no reason. Like you know what you're fucking doing, bro. You're gonna be doing big things. So I want to like drop that fucking trigger warning.
Cheers.
Like trigger warning, dude. If you listen to his fucking beats, like you might die.
Cheers, my bro.
Trigger warning.
But
you'll be offended by the hardness of it, bro.
You'll be offended, but you'll love it, man.
I was offended like by the hardness. I was like, you shouldn't be able to go this hard, bro.
Like, damn it.
You're like, what are you gonna do?
But what was I saying? You got me sidetracked, man.
You're saying like the energy, like that's what you're trying to do, like in your studio.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to bring back like that's what sort of what music started as. It's going full circle. That's where like when I'm working on my shit, I'm thinking like, all right, I want to be killing it to the standard of like 10, 15, 20, 30 years in the future. I don't want to be killing it to like what's normal now. And I'm thinking like, all right, what way is it headed? And you look at everything else where like the means of creation have just come back to the people, what way it ends up heading, like when it comes to like fine art or like anything, you know what I mean? Even like when it comes to like technological development, now it's sort of software, anyone can pick it up and anyone can do it. It ends up being a thing where it's like it's all headed in that direction where it's sort of like it's all the vibe, you know what I mean? And so it's like, all right, so basically, and that just sort of looks like it's full circle. So I'm like, fuck it. If it started out as like a party and people were creating some like lit shit while they were getting fucked up or whatever, then that's where it's, that's where I'm going to take it. So I'm going to take it even further past where people are doing it now. And I'm just assuming the rest of the industry is headed in that direction, so that by the time I'm there, everything else is sort of already there for me to do it the way that I'm envisioning.
So like maybe.
And now I remember the train of thought that I was sort of on when I got off the train of thought. No, I lost it again.
No, you were saying about how you're a producer and stuff.
Yeah.
No, I had it before as well. I remembered what you were trying to say.
But then I had to finish my thought. You got me. Hell, let's.
No, but like so. Let's just touch on what you're saying now. Let's just touch on what you're saying now, like, and to point out as well, like what you're talking about, technological development being able to like shine a light on mine rang before, bro, as well. I don't give a shit. Bro. It's just live, bro. No, it's actually not. But like the means of technology that's available now to people, because you're not really operating in that necessary like industry mainstream. And you're not trying to make music that's like has that mainstream sort of accessibility right now. You're more like you said, looking in the future. And I think like these underground roots are going pretty deep at the moment.
Yeah.
And I don't see it slowing down. And we were having a conversation earlier about alternative industry, alternative, music, alternative media. And like you said, like you take it back to what it's really about. That's what kids who are growing up now are resonating towards. You know? That's why they fuck with people like X, because he was just like this mad artistic motherfucker who just really brought an energy
Yeah.
and a vibe. And
and this is now I remember what I was getting onto, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to cut this a bit.
No.
Do cut it a bit.
No,
because you got to make it easy for people to digest.
No, it's good. We're on a journey together. We're on a journey together. Bro, we're on a journey. We're on a mission, bro.
His fault, guys.
It makes it better.
But it's like, all this technique and shit that people like focus on heavily. And this comes down to even music. And this is sort of where I was intending on taking what I was saying at my very first sentence, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the energy is what fucking matters, right? So everything that you do that's technically impressive, whether it's your writing or your, whether it's how you're performing or like, anything, whatever, how you're engineering, what techniques you're using. The techniques are only good if they serve the emotion of the music and the message of the music, right? Whatever the fuck that emotion or message is. And so that's why, to go back to what I was saying, I feel like I'm able to, because I'm like my niche is like hip hop, right? But I'm not as niched down as just about every other hip hop engineer. I could give you a list off the top of my head of so many engineers that are really fucking good at, for example, like the very bar heavy, rap heavy sound of hip hop. I can give you another massive list of guys that are really good at like the autotune heavy, or maybe not even autotune heavy, but that sort of like less bar heavy hip hop sound. At the end of the day, they're both hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's purists on either end. Like if you ever look at like. If you have people from both sides on Facebook, usually they're always talking shit about the other side's style music, but I fuck with both.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm not like, there is technical prowess in both sides.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't get one of these like bar rappers to do like a, like auto-tune things. You can get one of them to do a heavy bar song. There's like people that can cross over to both, but usually in general.
Usually it sounds trash if they try and.
Well, no, I mean, sometimes it does.
If they have their lane. Not, sometimes, but like, it doesn't
But in
always.
general-
People can cross over, but like.
But in general, it's actually a different skill set. Like there's different things.
It's a different, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like when some rappers can do it, they start trying to do more singing and stuff. And it's like, sometimes it's dope and it's like, oh shit, you just open up a whole another like level of what you can do. You might not have even realised how good you are.
Yeah.
But then there's some rappers, it's like, dude, stop trying to like sing, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
just do you.
Yeah. It comes down to the individual, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and that's how you're talking about it really comes back to, regardless of, because aren't all these different genres just different expressions of the same shit? Like it's just a person or a team of people trying to emote something and bring energy out. So it's like, no matter what genre it is, it's like they're both trying to sort of do a similar thing. They're both trying to make music.
Yeah. And
that people fuck with. Like,
and that's the thing, that extends past genre because that's just music too. All music.
Art.
Everything. Art in general. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, well this actually applies also to like visual art, right? That was how I started out, fun fact. I was a painter.
Shit, bro.
Yeah, people don't know.
You're like...
All the paintings in my house.
You're like Leonardo da Vinci, bro.
Nah.
Was he a painter?
Yeah.
He was the painter.
He was a painter.
Yeah. Leonardo da Norlick.
He was... What? That kind of rolled off your tongue.
I've got a chapel, bro, at the back. You want to go paint it for me?
Hell no.
Alright, so
no, but I'll record a band in there.
You record a band, yeah, you would too.
Yeah.
Hey, and you fuck with like, you would do, like, or would you maybe you wouldn't, like, how far out from hip hop would you go? Are you saying that you're hip hop and everything inside hip hop you do, or are you saying that you actually
no, that's just my
hip-hop?
specialty. But to be honest, man, I can do anything, and I've done like rock stuff before, and I thought that I did a really fucking good job of it. And the people that I did it for thought so also. I've done like 60s style folk sort of shit, like the Beatles, just covers of the Beatles and of the Shadows and shit. And I was able to provide meaningful feedback during the recording process that got them to do better takes, and also everyone was really happy with the mixes at the end as well. It's just my specialty. The majority of my clientele, see, I didn't choose the niche sort of chose me. Almost all of my clientele is like hip hop or are like genres that share those traits. So for example, like R&B. I got a girl from Brisbane who's really talented, and I've done her last 2 projects. And she's like a very like R&B, like vibey sort of pop sort of thing. With little bits of hip hop in there. She's got some like, rap verse features and stuff like that in there. So it's really just like, I just get a lot of that, man. And then, then I just had Clifton from Northern Territory come and stay for like a week, and we banged out like an insane number of songs. It was like 14 songs.
Sure. So you had it ready to go.
Yeah.
Is he like one take type guy, or he takes a bit more?
He takes what he needs. So on some tracks it's one take. Usually he's got like a workable take in one take, but I'm like,
You want to push them as well. That's your job as well to see how much more can you get.
I coach people's performance. I got a sixth sense for detecting when they've got a better take in them too. You know, like I just know, I can feel like
there's more energy,
better there. Like or not even more energy. It could be more anything. There could be a number of things. Sometimes even like something could be done certain way that's different. And I'm good at communicating it in a way which is pretty intuitive. That if you were to read what I'm actually saying on a piece of paper, it would be like, the fuck is he saying? But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
bro, just yeah. And
you know,
like
sometimes
literally,
sometimes I'll just be like, all right, give me that, but like 0.005% more.
Yeah.
And they know exactly what I mean because they always do exactly what I was intending on them doing. But like I know what different people need to hear too. So I wouldn't. Some people I know if I want the same sort of difference in their take, the next take I would say, give me another like 20%, just because I know I just sense their range, if that makes sense, and like how they're interpreting what I'm saying. Yeah.
And it's this crazy like bubble almost sometimes when you got the producer and the artist and use it almost in this same bubble together.
Yeah, exactly.
And like if it's good, like it's good chemistry.
Yeah.
And dude, again, like you've just been working with so many fucking artists.
Yeah.
You've developed, like you've really sharpened that skill to just like almost psychically connect with someone.
Yeah, well, you know what a part of that was as well, man, is like, this is something that I think that anything that requires experience to get good at, which is almost everything, you got to do it a fucking lot, bro, to the point that like it burns you out and you're actually performing worse because you're going so hard. And then when you back off, all of a sudden you're just going to be like, I have superpowers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was me like last year, man, 2018. I went from focusing on like a few artists to going, you know what, I'm going to focus on just being the best that I can be. And so I was recording on average like 3 people a day.
Including your own stuff too, because you've recorded your own stuff.
I don't even rap anymore, you know? So I didn't even rap last year.
Yeah, so last year, yeah.
So no, last time I rapped was like 2016 too.
True.
So...
But last year you just went...
Last year I went crazy, man, and I was like getting between like 4 to 6 hours sleep a night.
Yeah.
Like consistently, which is actually really chill until about 3 months ago, and then you're just there like... Usually there'll just be a day where you fall asleep in the middle of the day and you're just like, whoa, fuck. But then you're good again for another 3 months, you know? But anyway, so that was like last year. And then, you know, yeah.
So what did you achieve from that year? From saying... And because like I also want to talk about how you're a self-made person, because I think that's like super fucking valuable for people, because so many people that just maybe feel like it's too much of a mountain to climb.
Yeah, I never went to audio school. I never went to...
Yeah, exactly. And I fuck with that as well. You literally... And this is what we're talking about as well. You don't need to go through like the mainstream sort of like pathways to achieve things. Like you can actually like create your own path if you're willing to like do what, work your fucking ass off.
Yeah.
And like so what did you achieve from that 1 year where you just went, I'm gonna fucking like worry about getting so good at this? What did you gain at the end? And then also what got you to that point where you decided that your work ethic needed to go through the roof?
So the first thing is what did that lead to? Like what did me going like that lead to? It led to me like when I'm using the program that I use, whether it's Pro Tools or Studio One at home, I use Studio One. If I have to work at Northern Sound System or someplace that has Pro Tools, if there's any other option, I basically just go to Pro Tools. But if I've got the option of Studio One, I'll do Studio One. And at home, I use Studio One. I just became like one with the program, if that makes sense. I'm not thinking. Like you've seen when I'm working, I'm just doing like 10 things at once, but I'm not even thinking about that. I'm thinking about usually the artist, and like I've got like maybe 4 or 5 mental bookmarks of things that need to change in the song or that need to be improved.
It's hard to even explain because it's actually on another level, because when you first explained it to me about like, you really care about, you need to be thinking, multitasking at such a level. I was like, yeah, bro, I can multitask. I can listen to something and like be taking mental notes. But then just like how like it's not the same as a normal person's multitasking.
Yeah.
Like what you're doing is actually
multiple things.
Times it by 10 almost, you know what I mean? Like you're really thinking.
That's where
you're playing 4D chess, you're really...
Exactly, yeah. Because also you're thinking...
You're just like, bookmarking stuff and like mentally...
Yeah, like you see when I record where it's like, all right, we'll get this take through, that's cool, now we'll do this and this and this. All right, cool, now we've got all that. Because part of the thing as well is every artist, they have like a sweet spot in their recording where they're like, it's usually going to be like maybe like 5 or 6 takes where their best shit by far is coming out and their energy is perfect and you just fucking feel it. You know what I mean? And some people it's like they just their first 3 takes, it's got to be done then or else you're missing it. Other people it's like, it's like they've done like 5 warm-up takes and then they're in their peak, but you really need to get it done in their peak. So what it is like, all right, I want to get the lead vocals basically 99% of the way there in their peak and keep that energy tight and keep it flowing too. And then say if there's something that needs to be changed somewhere here or there that I feel like is a bit minor, I can leave that to where they might be possibly relieving their peak. Usually they're still in it, but like, you know what I mean? And then so I've got to keep that mental bookmark. So I'll get them to do like whatever they need done. And then like, yeah, maybe there's one word that could be done better. I'll just bring it back there after they got it. I know
you know that they can spit that one little line with good energy.
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is from like you flipped a bit of a switch like last year, you just went ham so that you now have freedom, like you have freedom with the program. Like you basically you don't have to overthink what you're doing.
And also
it just becomes like a natural process for you.
And also like 3 songs a day essentially. It's like 3 sessions. So sometimes that was working on the same song that was already recorded prior or needed to be re-recorded. But in general, if you evened it out, it's probably like 2 songs a day being completed, you know what I mean? And so that got me extremely good at mixing and mastering as well because and also it gave me a fuck ton of experience. I just know things because I've got this vast body of like a bazillion recording sessions with a bazillion different artists that I can immediately tap into without thinking. So I know even if I haven't recorded someone before, I can figure out like almost immediately what kind of artist they are to record. And so then I know from just prior experience like even how big their sweet spot's going to be, what their sweet spot even is going to feel like, if that makes sense. Yeah, and so it just got me like really fucking good basically. And it's like with audio, I feel like it's sort of like, you know, I mentioned like not going to school before. It's sort of like if it's like with basketball or something, right? Like you're not going to go to TAFE to study basketball. They don't do that anyway, I don't think. But you're not going to go like...
Bro, I reckon they're opening up a few basketball TAFE courses next year, bro.
That's it.
Let's do it.
Hey, why not? But, well, I'm about to sink that idea because like you can't really go to like a TAFE for basketball, for example, and be like, all right, cool. Never been on the court before, but I did a course.
Yeah.
Cost me $10,000 a debt. It's all good. I'm going to be an NBA star now. And then you just like... You don't know how to play basketball because you've never been on the court just because you did some studies or whatever.
Yeah.
Even if you're like, oh, let's play basketball inside of this like artificial, like a
VR or something.
This artificial experience.
Like a virtual reality like game or something.
Yeah, no, just this artificial. It's like, oh, we'll go to the gym at the TAFE and we'll do like some basketball amongst the people in the class. That's not going to get you good. That's not going to get you good because it's not real. Do you know what I mean? It's like some weird, like artificial experience. Like real basketball is different. It's like if you look at those fake martial artists where they're like, oh, I can kill you by touching your pressure point. Yeah. It's like anytime you see one of those guys go against a real,
like a real motherfucker, like those guys who like hit themselves in the nuts, bro, over and over. Have you seen those guys?
No.
You've seen those guys. Hey, Jack the Ripper's in the background right now. So shout out. Jack the Ripper.
All of us, really.
Fuck with him, bro.
Man, I respect your beard.
He loves you.
He loves you.
He's got a beard. He's got to be
shout out, Lil Sick.
Polished.
That's it. But
So what you're just saying is like you literally need to get that raw experience. You need to actually do the job and get a fuckload of experience actually doing it, as opposed to like filling your mind up with a bunch of courses. Because I really believe that like knowledge isn't just having like a bunch of information in your head. Knowledge is actually doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like knowledge is doing. Like if you really know it, then you're doing it.
And also, you know, the first people that did audio engineering, they didn't go to a course for it because it didn't exist. You know what I mean? And it's those guys that still, the vast majority of everything else is still built up from. And that's because they did what was practical. They learned pragmatically, not like book learning, right?
Yeah.
So
they actually did it.
Yeah.
It's like sales as well, bro. It's like this, I see this so close to do sales.
Right?
I saw it so much,
so
bro. And like people talk about this stuff. They say like, you know, these guys who finish like their business courses they study at uni, and then they come out in the field and they're trying to do direct sales face to face and actually talk to someone and close a deal.
Yeah.
And half of them are too scared to even ask for the close.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like
they're like, all right, I got it almost there, and they're just like, so you could have. Like,
they just like go dead. It's like, dude, ask for the money.
Yeah.
Or like they give them an objection and they just accept it. They go, okay. It's like, no, bro. It's like when you're out here, bro, and you're on 100% commissions, bro, and you're actually
that's another
thing. Getting paid. Like you learn handle the objection, bro.
No, seriously, that's another thing that people need to do. Everyone needs to do this too for everything they're doing. Is that you need to start. If you're an engineer or a producer, you need to start charging from as early as you humanly possibly can, even if it's like $25, because then a portion of your actual, first of all, it makes you care more. Because when you're doing 3 sessions a day, dude, if you're doing that for free, you don't give a fuck. You're not going to do it. You'll quit. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have time to do anything else. You can't fucking get a day job. You're literally all day, every day is doing that. That's your job. So,
it needs to fund your life to continue to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also that puts you in a perspective where you're there like, all right, now I need to like fight for my food, right? And if you know from the sales thing, right, that makes you get, crystals. That makes you like, that just makes you hyper-focused in a different way that you can't even really describe. It just makes you care about what actually matters. It makes you, right? And so for me, that, for example, made me care about like, and this helps that I started out as a rapper originally, right? Is makes me care about the artist, right? Because the artist is my customer. Is like capitalism 101, bro. You got to like your customer isn't going to pay you if you're not providing them with value, right? So what do they value? I just really focus, what do they value? I draw on my experience as a recording artist when I was recording, like what was always fucked, what could have been done better, like, you know, and I just tried to do that, you know, and I had like a year of like intensive work doing it, you know, and so it's a thing, man. And then your second question was like, what made me go like,
what flipped that switch? Because a lot of people like, I think, wish that they could just like find that motivation to like really just nut down and go so hard. But some people, I think they lack the motivation. And I'm not saying that you're going to have some secret like sentence of advice that's going to make someone wake up tomorrow and start going hard. But like, just from your actual experience, what led you to that point where?
So I don't have anything like crazy like that will like probably be that applicable to other people. I can just talk about like what happened with me, and really, bro, it was just like just recording a few artists. I was stuck on only working on a specific style, and I was that dude listening to like Kanye West next to fucking the new Linkin Park, which at the time was whack as fuck.
Yeah,
like, according to everybody, but I liked it.
You fuck with it,
you know. And then Imagine Dragons and fucking Complete, you know,
some crazy noise.
Rapper, you know, and fucking like psychedelic fucking pop, you know, by like Animal Collective. And I'm listening to all this shit.
Yeah.
I was even listening to some fucking like The Birds, like some weird song that they did for 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is just weird, but it's dope.
Sounds lit.
Yeah, I don't know how they made it as trippy. And like then like, you know, I might be listening to fucking I Am the Walrus by the Beatles, and then like fucking, you know, some Kid Cudi, and you know, then like, and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, bro, you just literally fuck with music.
I just like good music, you know. So it's like I was there like, man, all I'm doing is like rappy rap stuff, which is really dope, right? But there was limiting where I could take things, right? And there's a whole other world to how there's so many people where they think they're like really dope because they're pretty effective on a specific subgenre of a subgenre of a subgenre.
Yeah.
It's once you start working with everything, you're sort of there like, fuck, I actually don't know anything. Like, I just know how to do like these 3 things kind of right in this specific context. I don't know anything. And so I need to expand that, and to do that I have to work with other people. Also, I was focusing on like, man, I want to be like one of the best. So that's basically the same thing. I need to like get more experience. And also the people that I knew that were rappers that I was working with, it was really wishy-washy, man. It was really hit or miss. And that segment of the scene that I was in, there was a lot of dramas, and that was sort of like, man, I just want to like focus on my shit. You know what I mean?
You wanted to ascend up to a point where people are just there for the music.
Yeah, it was sort of like, man, I'm not going to be
professionals.
Like,
professionals.
I was like, bro, when I'm like 40, I'm not going to look back and be like, oh yeah, that was a hell dope drama. You know what I mean?
Fuck drama, right?
Yeah, that shit's going to like, I'm not even going to remember that. So it's like, that's still taking up my time though, you know what I mean?
And energy, bro.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Bro.
Yeah, it's not worth it, bro. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to like take a step back from that. I'm just working like, I'm an engineer. I'm a like producer, you know what I mean? Engineer, producer, whatever the word is. The word's pretty vague nowadays.
Whatever word you want, bro. It's 2019, bro.
Yeah. Hey. Everything means everything though, you know? And
that's it.
But yeah, so that was basically, it was like, I need to expand on multiple levels. I need to like get myself in a position where I can work with people that are taking it way more seriously, like as seriously as I'm taking it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that just led me to like, because I was always working hard, man, you know?
Yeah, well, that's what I want to do, to even break it down further. Like, where did you get that? Like, where did you get that vision, or where did you get that, like, that urge to want to succeed at a high level? Because I even feel people sell themselves short with that, where they just maybe don't set their goals high enough for what they can achieve, and because they've just got, like, maybe such lackluster ambitions, they never have a real urge. Like, when you're like, I want to be the best, bro, there's a sense of urgency going on, bro, inside you where you're like, cool, if that's actually what I want, I have to start working my ass off.
Yeah.
Like if you're realistic.
Yeah,
If you just want to drop like a couple of dope tracks, there's no sense of it like, I need to get up and like go. It's like, cool, I can relax, take it easy. Like,
you know what it is for me, bro, is it's like really it's just like, all right, if you fail at trying to be the best, you're probably still better off than someone who never tried. I just can't, like, you only get one life, and the time that you spend living is really limited, dude. Like, it's, when you really think about it, you got more time than you could ever imagine, but also less than you'd ever need.
Facts, man.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like every minute and hour and day and month and year of my life is like important and must be like spent to the. I don't want to look back and be like, oh yeah, no, I was cool. I got like a dope job doing like this or that thing, but. You know,
yeah,
for
bro,
some people,
bro.
For some people, bro.
That'd be the worst, bro.
For some people, maybe they're like, what they really want to do, what living life is for them, is having a fuck ton of money and then just traveling and shit. So they get like some whatever job and they spend it well, they save it well, whatever. And that's not a better decision than the way I went.
No,
I'm just a creative person. So for me, whatever I'm doing needs to involve being creative. Otherwise, I will lose my mind. Even if I'm like loaded as fuck, bro. I can do full stack web dev, and I've been doing that sort of shit since I was like 11, dude. You get paid like between 2,000 and 4,000 a week for that.
Yeah.
But you can't really be creative.
Yeah.
Doing that, and there's not the social aspect. There's a lot of things about working in arts and music specifically that tick the boxes for me, and so that's where I was like, you know what? If I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to try and be the absolute best because I also don't want to be starving.
So do you think that's also a really important point?
And also, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Like, even a part of that whole, like, I want to have the best possible product on every level. Not just, I've got great mixes, I've got great masters of those mixes, I've got great recordings. It's also like, all right, what, apart from my skills, can benefit that? And that's, you know, equipment. So basically every drop of my excess income has gone towards upgrading my equipment. And then, like, to even afford certain things, I need to be able to pull in more money, and so that's a part of like that whole I need to be the best so I can be the best. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, anyway, sorry to interrupt you. What were you saying?
No, like I fuck with it. Like you set yourself a really high standard.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important thing that I think successful people do is they just have a high standard and they don't compromise on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, like I'm here to deliver the maximum like potential that I can.
Yeah.
But to even go a little bit even deeper on like what you were saying, I feel like it's almost a bit of a spiritual thing, and I think I resonate a bit with that as far as like that urge and maybe even that vision, like on a really like core level, in a spiritual level, could also just be like that we have this finite lifespan.
Yeah.
And like we're aware of that.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like I'm really aware of that. Like I'm really aware that I'm going to die and I don't know what happens next. So that very likely means there could be nothing going on after that.
Yeah.
So for me it's just like that almost fear of like waking up and I'm 85 years old and I've just gone like, could have gone harder.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the scariest fucking things in my life, bro.
Yeah.
Seriously, like that scares the fuck out of me. Like for anyone fucking watching this, like, you know, a lot of people resonate with that, a lot of people don't, but think about it. Like, do you want to wake up and it's the last day that you're going to have on earth and hopefully you're like some 90-year-old motherfucker, you know, you hopefully live a long life.
Hey,
but
life expectancy is going up.
It is, you know, you wake up, you're 150, but do you really want to be like looking down the barrel of like your mortality and being like, oh, this is about to end.
Yeah.
This whole human and
all for what?
And I didn't think I gave it a good crack.
Yeah.
Like imagine the just like fucking sorrow of that, bro. I don't know. Like I feel like that's a spiritual drive.
And also to me, man,
Are you a spiritual guy?
No, not really, but here's the thing though, man, like we evolved from like reptiles. There's like we almost have like two different minds running at once when you think about it. Like, you know, you can just feel a vibe and feel an energy from people.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a mistake to ignore that there's like, it's almost like you got like, you're just like your sense, your intuition. Your intuition is a real thing. That's like your reptile brain.
Fuck yeah.
You know?
So powerful though, bro.
Picking up on things that have been like, the accuracy of which has been honed by like millions and billions of years of life even existing in the first place. So I feel like if you ignore
Instincts, right?
yeah, like the best thing, man, I think is to like focus on both. So it's like, so I feel like what a lot of people will refer to as spiritual like shit. Like I believe in like life karma, bro, right? You do right by other people.
Yeah.
and it comes back to you. And I don't believe it's like some law of the universe. Same with like the law of attraction. I think if you operate by those principles, the effects are real, but not because of some actual law of the universe.
Not because of some deity who's like creating these policies or something.
Yeah,
like that.
there's like some sort of there's
it's a natural law.
Yeah,
it's almost like gravity in a sense. You know what I mean? It's the way I see that, and because I agree with you 100%. The way I see it is, it's not perfect because sometimes like people can do fucked up things and they actually get away with it. Like it does happen.
Yeah.
Someone's not always going to come and you're not always going to get your comeuppance sometimes. That's because that's just like the chaos of the nature of the universe. But I think if you put out positive vibes, and I think this is on a scientific level. Who was it? Like Tesla used to talk in frequencies. He used to talk he used to use the words like the vocabulary of frequencies a lot and stuff like that. And we're resonating frequencies right now. If you put out a positive frequency. Other similar wavelengths are going to sympathise with that, and you're going to attract other positive people.
Yeah,
or even if you go out and do something that's really, really kind, other kind people who are trying to do kind shit are going to be like, "Oh, I want to be around that," because he's on the same journey. And then if you start to surround yourself with good people, and good things are going to keep happening.
You surround yourself with success, that breeds more success. This is the thing. Like, there's a saying that you can only be good as those you surround yourself with. Because when you think about it, there's people that are extremely dark and depressed. If you talk to them, and they're like, "Fucking hate everything, man. I fuck everything out."
Kid Death.
I'm like,
he's coming on the podcast.
Kid Death is actually pretty fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, we're gonna break it down. He's got this emo vibe going.
He has the most positive form of depression.
That's what I mean. But he puts that on. But
he's actually
you get to know him, bro. I'm bringing that motherfucker on. Kid Death, dude. We fuck with you.
Shout out Equade.
We love
you.
Chill out. Shout outs.
Man, I just shout out so many people right now. Shout out Shari, Oceanaz. Shout out Philo, shout out Diaspora, shout out, give me some, Ajax, shout out Ness, shout out
you, bro.
Shout out Mick.
Shout out yourself, shout out Active Progress.
Shout out Tom, shout out Active Progress, shout out Martin.
Oh, fuck off.
Martin Luther King, bro.
Martin Shabuet.
He slaughtered it, bro.
That's it. Shout out Jay Ripper, shout out Nick at NSS, shout out
Mum.
Shout out.
Who you got?
I'm thinking, man. Ben from NSS2. Shout out.
Nate A1.
Shout out Nate McElwain. Nate A1. A1 Nate. You low-key talented as AIDS. Shout out.
Talented as AIDS, bro. You see a little AIDS virus just dancing
Shout out Dave Reaper. Shout out.
How talented is AIDS, bro? I'm still stuck in the talented AIDS.
This is talented as you want it to be, really.
It's true. Hey, you know what? If killing people's a talent, bro, AIDS is very talented, bro.
Shout out to everybody.
That's some real shit.
Shout out AIDS.
Wait, but you were on a fucking good tangent. I don't want to even drop that energy. It's about being around successful people.
Yep. Man, I had a massive meal, so I'm just in the afterglow of a massive hot pot right now.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just rolling with whatever.
Let's bring it right back then, because we're saying some good shit here.
So the thing with spirituality and energy and everything like that, man. Yeah, it's like I don't think you need to have it as some deep spiritual belief or anything like that. But at the same time,
but you just believe in karma because you've literally seen it play out.
Yeah.
I've literally seen good people and people with positive mindsets have more positive lives.
Yeah.
So it's not just some faith I have. I've seen it play out.
And as I was saying about there's some people that are super dark and they hate everything and rah.
Yeah.
Then they just surround themselves with dark people, which let's be real, really dark people in general tend to be less successful and have more chaotic, fucked up lives.
Yeah.
So you sort of end up just having this zone of
It's like
there's people that are happy and that are happy, aimed at success, or just happy in general tend to, be living better lives in general. So you tend to be surrounded by just an inherent culture, no matter what culture the person that you're hanging with, right? There's just a culture of interaction which breeds good life outcome. You know what I mean? And happiness.
Yeah,
that's how they're happy in the first place.
Yeah, and sometimes they're happy because they actually cut out the negativity in their life, and they only allow for more positive people to be in their life.
Yeah.
And I've always thought it's weird. This is a weird example, but people with maybe severe mental illness and things like that, right? And then it's maybe someone's in that situation, and then what they do sometimes with those guys, more back in the day especially, throw them in a mental asylum with more crazy people.
Yeah.
It's if you got someone who's dude, I'm Jesus, don't put him around a bunch of crazy people because they're going to be like, dude, you are Jesus.
So they're like, oh, you're Jesus? And then all of a sudden
he's like, I know.
Yeah.
Like,
and then next thing you know, you have Christianity.
You know what I mean? Exactly. There you go. Boom! Shots fired. Shots fired.
No, not even. I take.
No, not even.
Because that's another thing is I don't have anything against religion. I know a lot of people, for some reason, it's like the in thing now to just hate on religion.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's just like, oh, fucking Christianity, blah, 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 pedophiles. And then like everyone's, you know.
That Catholicism more.
Yeah, or Islam, terrorists and shit. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, I feel like a lot of the time, man, if you have some sort of religion, because religion will give you principles, that will help you more than if you have no principles and don't believe in religion. If you have principles and you don't have a religion, then I think you're fine either way. But it's like, you know what I mean?
Atheism can tend to lend itself a bit to like
nihilism
and like pessimism. Because I like went from like hating religion and just because I was getting told by people it's this real thing, and everyone's like, yeah, God exists. And I'm like, no, I don't think so, dude. And so I sort of had resent towards it. And then I was like, so because of that, then I went through a phase where I'm an atheist, bro. Like, there is no God.
Yeah.
But then I realized, like, going beyond that, I'm like, no, there's certain tenets of these things that are important. You know, there's certain ideas. Like, there's something that's bigger than me. Like, I feel like I believe there's something bigger than myself going on. And whether that's just the nature of the universe, there's something larger than myself out there.
And, you know, this I can take that a little bit back to this whole what drove you to try and be successful thing as well, bro, and especially in like music, is like it's bigger than just me. So if I can get to some like if I like where I have a
this
vision,
is so fucking important. This is I know where you're going with this. This is dope.
Yeah, so it's like if I can seriously, I'm only as successful as like the scene and the industry, man. So it's like if I can, like, I'm sick of seeing artists that are like 45 years old and they're like basically nothing because they just focused on their art like their whole fucking life and they have no plan B or no way to like get anywhere. Like if I can turn as many people into success stories as possible, and I think Australia's next up, man. You look at what 1-4 and Chillin' and fucking Manu Crooks and all these motherfuckers.
Leroy, like one man shit.
Everyone they are killing it on an international scale, bro. Killing it, and I feel like there's no reason we can't bring that like even more up, man. Like, bring it up like crazy, because then you know what happens when we do that? See, imagine if we can make Australia like the place where the freshest, most diverse styles of music, you know, even within the subgenre of hip hop, the number of people I record, man, I'm lucky to like genuinely love the fuck out of the music that I record.
Yeah.
You know, no matter the subgenre and like the artist, I really love the music that I'm working on, and I really fuck with every artist that I'm working with too. And it's like, but they're all so different, even within a subgenre of hip hop.
There's still such diversity.
There's so much diversity, and it's all, none of it's been taken up by the mainstream yet, or by the industry, right?
Will it though? Like, or is it destined to like become an alternate?
No, because the industry, man, fuck the industry, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
fuck it, man.
Like, the industry's probably not going to pick it up, bro. Because it's like,
who are the fucking industry to tell people on the street what
this is
they deserve to listen to? You know?
Yeah.
That's a thing, man. There's more artists than ever before, and the means to create music is, the barriers have basically just been obliterated, you know what I mean? And so
just put your shit on Apple Music, bro. If people like rack up the streams, like, you
what's
win.
good should survive, man. And so it's a thing where, like, back to what I was sort of saying, man, if we can make Australia like the place with the freshest, most diverse fucking music, and like make it so that we got like Australian artists doing world tours just like that, and opening for international acts just like that, then there's more money in the music industry in Australia, which means the artists can get paid more. It means that the video guys can get paid more, the beat makers can get paid more, you can get paid more, I can get paid more, and everyone ends up being better off by being better off.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's like an altruistic approach as well.
Yeah. And then, okay, say I die and I'm like 150 years old, hopefully.
Don't die, bro.
Not going to happen, but well, we'll see, man. I'm aiming for it. Maybe
technology,
artificial heart or something.
That's it.
Or get my consciousness uploaded into the cloud.
Yeah,
you can just access a Norlick from anywhere.
But I am Norlick, your producer for the day.
Oh, I would not imagine.
Pick your genre.
I would not have an American accent.
Yeah, why? They're Americans. They're my subconscious.
Damn it, man. They've already culturally infiltrated us so heavily, man. But
massively. So what's the step like? What do you see as being some of the major steps that need to be taken? Because I think on a small scale, on a local level, people like what Dad's Warehouse are doing, like you know, like a young dude trying to create a platform for some of these artists to actually just perform and get paid. Like doing stuff like this, more people doing like creating platforms on YouTube and things like that to actually showcase, you know, this sort of stuff and get the stories out there. And what you're doing, like, and I just want to quickly speak on it, bro. What you've done for the Adelaide scene, and like, you know, I'm still pretty new to Adelaide, so I can't speak on it with heaps of authority, but I've met like, all the people around you, bro, and I've seen what you've done in NSS, and I know the story, and even just like the value that people are getting from you right now is insane. So I know that you practice what you preach. You're not here talking about community and then you're just like trying to rip off like, you know, hood kids or whatever, like for $500 recordings. Yeah. You're literally like doing your best as far as I can see without fucking yourself over completely.
Yeah.
You're doing your best to make sure that everybody's voice gets a chance to be heard.
Oh yeah.
And by giving people like professional quality like recordings, and giving these kids a chance to actually see if they really fuck with this hip hop thing or not. Yeah. Like, to actually see.
And that's an important thing, because you know what? If you like make music and maybe you're real alright, but it's not your thing, then I feel like it's kind of cruel to just tell people that like, oh no, you're dope, it's awesome. Like, you're not going to be there like, you fucking shit. But at the same time, it's like, what if that's not their calling, man? And then like you could be lying to someone and distracting them from their true calling and wasting precious years of their life. And
they end up on bloody Australian Idol and everyone and the judge is like, dude,
laughing at them.
Yeah, like actually.
And everyone just laughs at them. Like all the people that hate their life are just looking at it like, wow, ha ha ha, this person is also like, you know, in a bad position. Ha ha ha, my life isn't really that bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what that whole thing is about, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Fuck that. Like, you know, if that's what they're calling, so what? They'll find something else. You know, if that's what they're calling, they have something, bro. There's something, you know. There's some people, man, where it's like their calling is actually, you know what? There's some people where you can make anything art, bro. Anything can be a form of art. There's people, when I used to do construction, there was people where like them doing paint work, like just mansion painting, it's not even like a fine art painting. But it was like, this is actually like watching a work of art. This dude is like, you know how I get when people watch me doing the engineering shit and just like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're like a wizard from the future.
You get that from these fucking dudes and they're just painting walls, but they're doing it in a way where you're like, this is actual hectic. This guy's ridiculous. This is amazing. You know what I mean?
I mean, dude, the human body is a fucking piece of art, bro.
Yeah.
Like this biological machine, bro. Dude, it's a piece of art, bro.
It's like, you know, when...
finely tuned. Like,
it's like when we went to Sydney, bro, and it was just like... we're just like, Melbourne's far as fuck, but Sydney's just got a different sense of scale. You're literally in the CBD just like, how the fuck did humans actually make this? It's not even like a new building.
We go
Why is it so big? What was the point? Like, you really just wanted to drip that hard? You know what I mean?
Sydney
like,
got
fuck it, let's just make a fucking... You know, let's just make this as big as humanly possible out of the most difficult materials you can possibly construct something that big out of. Because...
pushing the boundaries.
Fuck it, you know? That's artwork to me as well, you know? Like, just even that's human achievement at its finest, and that's art in so many ways to me. And, you know, so if you're not, you know, if your best expression of you and your calling isn't like music, then... whatever your calling is, man, like you owe it to yourself to excel at that, and then also you get paid for it, and you kind of need to get paid. And that's good for the country too. You know, you get paid, you can spend money on shit, which
exactly.
You know,
that's what
money in circulation, bro. You know,
exactly. That's what I noticed about Adelaide. Like even coming in and doing busking and just like meeting a lot of the buskers and a lot of talented, like, you know, just singer songwriters and stuff getting around. I realized how hard I had to go, because I also realized like the finite amount of resources there are for musicians in that space to actually financially survive. Yeah. So, you know, because there's a lack of, like you said, like money and circulation in that area, a lot of these, like, you know, guys and gals aren't going to have the opportunities to continue doing music because it's not going to make them any money. Yeah. You know, so there's just not that demand for that. And I think, what you're doing is going to be a big influence in, like, you know, even just mentally how people look at it and just spawning, and I think you literally have spawning like some of the next generation to come in and try and keep building on what you're trying to build as well.
Well, also, man, I feel like like if you know, a lot of these guys, man, they could be the next big thing easily. You know what I mean? And so it's like I just want to, I feel like I'm really good at giving people feedback that makes them a better artist and makes them approach music and the industry with a better attitude. You know what I mean? Approach it with a success-oriented mindset, not just my homies think this is cool mindset as a hobbyist. So many people confuse whether they're a hobbyist or if like
a realist almost,
or that's actually your career. There's so many people where they're like, oh yeah, I'm a rapper, and it's like, okay,
are you marketing yourself?
Yeah.
Are you like, how many songs are you sitting on right now? Like how
you
much?
just post the shit on like SoundCloud, and it's like you're a rapper because you rap.
Yeah.
But like you can't really say that's your career. You're not getting any kind of income from it, and you're not even trying.
There's being a rapper and there's being like a successful rap like musician and stuff.
And it's kind of like a very selfish mentality. A lot of people, those people specifically, have a lot of the time because it's like, who are you making music for? Yourself? Okay, well,
that's cool. Like
that's cool.
Do you whatever?
But if you're looking to succeed, you got to think you got fans. They're your customers when you think about it, right? They're the people that are paying for you to eat this fucking meal or buy this crystal or
record this album
or record this or buy this microphone, right?
Yeah.
Just fucked up the audio, didn't I?
Attack. You fucking sabotage and fucking reversing.
That's it. But
just testing out the audio.
Yeah. But yeah, and it's sort of like it's like just focus on like make shit that people want to hear. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like part of the art in music is like making something that people want to hear that also serves what you want. That's my mentality when I'm recording. At least is like my job is I don't own the song. If you're recording a song with me, I am not the one who created your song. You created the song and you own the song fully. I'm being paid to do a service, right? To perform a service on your song. And when I'm recording, it almost is like a performance art because I'm juggling like 700,000 different things at once, and I'm trying to make it so you don't even pay attention to it. You're just there like, I want you to just come in and think, I'm going to record. All right, cool. What's my rap verse? There's so many different things you already got to worry about when you're fucking recording. You know what I mean? Like your breathing,
delivery,
like how consistent you're, like so many fucking things. Your lyrics, there's a million different things you need to focus on. You don't need to focus on me, like doing technical shit that has nothing to do with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just try and make it as easy as possible to get it out and get in the right vibe and everything. And that's part of the performance. Where was I going with that?
I don't think we had any direction at any point. I think we were literally just riffing.
Yeah.
But can we bring it like even right back
to
something we haven't even touched on, just like active progress.
Just pause.
Yeah.
Where I was taking it is like, you gotta like think about your client, and so for me it's like I gotta make something which, because when I'm mixing and recording and everything, I'm making it great to my taste. I like to think I've got a pretty well like tuned taste, but it's also the first thing is that you got to be happy with it as the artist, and then I bring it like my service is like I'm adding my taste onto it to make it even what you want but better. Yeah. But anyways, we're gonna say active progress.
No, that's dope, and like I do think that is fucking important. As far as like like you said, there's a selfish mentality sometimes, and I'm sure we've all been victim of it when we're coming up and stuff, and we're trying to figure shit out. But I think if you can get to a point where you realise that, I think I realised that as well. Like when I'm out there busking, I'm trying to hone my skills. Not just so that I can profit, but so that it's enjoyable for people. Yeah. Like I want people to actually enjoy like what I'm bringing out. It's not
like
just
business mentality 101, like making everything a win. So
what,
win on a win on a win.
So what do you say to someone who's like, nah, bro, like don't worry about the business, just worry about the music and shit.
You don't worry about the music, but then it's sort of like if you want to. Everyone starts out as a hobbyist, so when you're a hobbyist, that's all you do is worry about the music. If you want to worry about calling yourself a rapper as if it's your career, by definition, you got to worry about the business, dude. Of course. Like, otherwise, it's,
straight up.
Music is still a business. Every individual artist is still a business. When you think about it, a lot of artists complain about, like, a big company that might be like, oh, well, they're taking, the CEO owns so much and the workers own so much. When you think about it with music, it's even more lopsided because it's like the artist, right? A lot of times, it's like the artist, labels. It's a bit of a different subject, but like a lot of the time, you look at the actual breakdown, like you look at Beyonce and it's basically Beyonce is getting the vast majority of profit and everyone else is a lot less people and they're getting less proportionately than like the average worker would at a fucking Foodland or whatever.
Yeah, because she's so massive. She's bringing in so many doll hairs. Yeah. And she probably tries to pay her guys like right.
Or it's just the nature of music, you know what I mean? So it's like...
Wait, so what are you saying?
Just to
summarize that sort of point.
Oh, like you just got to think about it as a business, and all the artists that you're looking at that you might listen to and admire are doing so as well, and don't feel bad about thinking about it as a business because you're anti-capitalism or whatever.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
Everyone you fucking listen to on the radio and everyone that you listen to that's not on the radio, if you're listening to them, then they are more than likely doing exactly that, even if they're complaining about, this. So it's just a part of the game.
It's like it's all well. It's
the player, hate the game.
100%. And it's like you can do both. Like you can make amazing music and be an artist and still have artistic integrity.
Yeah, and
then you can also switch on about your money and be smart about your cash flow, because it's all well and good to be all about the music and you might be the best artist ever. But then what happens when you sign some dotted line and you got no idea anything to do with business? Next thing you know, you don't even own your music anymore, bro.
Yeah.
So like, it's all well and good to just focus on the art, but then what do you say then when all of a sudden that art that you cared so much about is now actually owned by a label because you just didn't think about it?
And no matter what your motivation is, man, you need to get your guap to do it. So it's like, even if it's like, I just want to help people, you need money to do it, dude. So like, make your money. You cannot help other people if you haven't already helped yourself. By definition.
100%.
In every aspect of life, if you haven't already helped yourself, if you're homeless, who the fuck are you going to help? Yeah. Right? Homeless people can only really be helped by people
who are homeless. You can show them how to be homeless. Homeless people like might teach someone who's newly homeless like all the good spots to sleep and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
but I mean, like, to get someone out of homelessness in general, right?
Yeah.
You can't be homeless and get other people out of homelessness. Feel me?
Unless you're just one of those rad dudes who's just like a hell hippie and he's like, dude, I've got heaps of cash, but I just like live like fucking with the streets. Bro.
Yeah, that's a bit different.
That's like one in a
that's
billion.
That's like by choice. That's homelessness by choice.
But I fuck with that guy, whoever he is out there. I fuck with him. And no, I love what you're saying, and it makes me think of. I remember going through a phase, and I was trying to find the next level of motivation, find the next gear, to sort of keep evolving. And I was thinking about things that motivate me and what motivates me, and one, it's like what you said, having a massive goal, like wanting to be the best. Yeah. If your goal's up here and you're trying to get there, you're going to be like, slogging it. But if your goal's down here, might make slow progress. So just set your goal ridiculously big. That's, for me anyway, I think that works. And the second thing, which taps into the altruistic thing you're talking about, is actually like thinking about not just helping myself, but helping like my family. Like, my friends and the people that I fuck with and that I love do better as well. So that's something else that pulls me forward as well. And I think that's a really strong motivator. Yeah. When you're having those shitty times, if you think about, well, I want to be the best, and also like I need to support the people around me. Like you're talking about the whole Adelaide scene. Yeah. It's not just about you anymore. It's not just about. It's like when you're out. You're out in town and someone like talks some smack to you. You're like, yeah, whatever. Who cares? But if like you're with one of your buddies and someone's like talking shit about your girl or one of your mates, all of a sudden that matters a bit more. Yeah. So I feel like people like that you love can give you so much fucking power. To motivate. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And that's, I guess, a part of that, surrounding yourself with people that share the same future, not the same past. I wish there was a mic I could just drop, bro. Because that was some soul-wrenching shit, bro.
I don't know about soul-wrenching. It's good.
No, it's like an exorcism.
How hot do you reckon this is?
How hot is it?
Yeah, how hot?
It'll be fine. Touch it.
That's right.
Do you love doing that?
I'm not gonna lie, it's sort of satisfying.
And you let the wax sort of settle. It takes like 2 seconds, and it settles on your finger.
I'm not so satisfied by that.
I fuck with it.
What is wrong?
You're an interesting man. Hey, I want to ask you as well, active progress, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe give me, because I want to maybe touch on active progress, how it started, like why you started active progress, and like your goals for the future, because I know that's some dope shit. Yeah. And then I just want to like have a quick like rundown of like, you're actually like you're trying to wipe that? Yeah, it's sort of. Can we touch wax fingers, bro?
Fuck, this is fucked. Why did yours solidify but mine didn't?
Bro, some ET shit.
This is Jerry Ripper's hand.
What's happening?
That's weird, bro.
Dude, my wax is dope, that's why.
Don't fucking what? Oh.
Alright, bro. So can we get terrible. Let's touch on like.
So how it started.
When you started active progress and like why you started it, and like what was that like for you? Like, did you literally just like make and also how can people like reach your stuff, because you've got active progress, but you haven't gone and ham on it yet.
Well, active progress
with the social medias and stuff like that.
Yeah. So here's the thing: because active progress originally was going to be like a production house, and then it sort of turned into like this crew label thing. Yeah. And then, like I was saying, artists are really hit or miss, right? So I was like, I can't do everything at once. I can't be a label manager and an engineer and a producer and this and this and this and this and that. Like, I like figure out what I want to be. And so I'm like, right, I'm going to do the production thing. And then I was sort of like, all right, Active Progress is going to go back to being a production house.
Mm-hmm.
So it started out as a production house, and it is now currently also a production house.
Mm-hmm.
So production house meaning I have a house,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone in Active Progress lives in the house.
It's like some
So we've got a
shit.
videographer, we've got a beat maker,
Yeah.
we've got a producer, and a crazy studio. You know what I mean? In a large room.
Mm-hmm. It's an all-in-one type.
It's literally you come into the house, and it is basically the business is where we live, and
I fuck with that.
Yeah,
The whole concept.
and there's a lot of reasons to do it that way as well, man. Because it's like if you're an artist, this sort of goes back to that whole you're around a fire and you just like pumping sticks and it's like you're just doing it for the vibe or whatever.
Yeah.
The vibe is better doing it that way, right? Because I know like a professional studio, some people smoke weed. I don't smoke weed.
Yeah.
Some people, like a lot of people smoke weed before they record or smoke weed just in general, and they want to be able to do that to get comfortable. A lot of people drink to get comfortable. You can't do either at really any studio.
Yeah. But
it's like 15,000 for a day.
I know, but isn't that crazy that and you've said about this how some of the producers maybe that you've heard about or seen and stuff like that, they won't let the artist actually get into their natural state. If an artist is like, dude, I smoke weed all the time and that's how I get into my creative zone, whether or not you like it or not, shouldn't you, to get the best out of that artist, let them access that state, that creative state, however they want to do it and feel comfortable?
Of course. The end goal is to make the best possible music and have the best possible experience for the artist. Those two things is what I'm basically always thinking about. I got lists and notebooks filled with pages of things I can do to make the recording process, to just make the whole experience better for the artist and the song better too, right? And both of them are interlinked as well. Because you can be good at making it sound good or whatever, but if they didn't have a good experience, then it's not their best performance more than likely. And then also it's sort of they're not going to remember the experience oh, that was so fucking dope. You don't want people to be coming into the studio here we go. Or be sitting there going this is going to be fucking dope.
Yeah, bro.
So anyway, to answer the question fully though, Active Progress is a production house. So it's me as a producer, so I record, mix, master music and occasionally make beats. And whenever I'm recording somebody, I almost always will have a meaningful impact on just the quality of recording and the final form that the song takes on.
So you're taking it next level, is what you're saying?
Yeah. We have a beat maker who's also a really dope artist as well. But his
Jackie
function,
boy.
Yeah, but his function within the production house, being that it's a production house, is as beat maker, right? Beat maker / producer, because he also has he has
he can cross over.
Well, it's a back and forth process with the artist because he makes beats in 10 minutes, dude. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And they're hard too.
The hard as fuck.
Hard as fuck.
Literally, they're dude, he made a fucking beat out of anything, bro. He made a beat out of Darth Vader breathing.
Yeah.
And it slaps.
That's a good idea though.
And it slaps.
It slaps. Dude. We were bumping this shit on the way in and it was fucking... It slaps, bro.
Yeah.
It definitely slaps.
You recorded it too.
Yeah, I recorded it, bro. I was in on that shit.
That's it. But,
So you got a beat maker.
Yep, and we've got a videographer. And the videographer is
videographer.
really fucking good. He's got some great chops and has worked with some really good artists. From guys that are on the up and up, like JP. He's done some great work with him, and he's done some great work with Social Change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's getting better and better and better as well. And so you got access to all of that within the production house. So that all interlinks as well, because sometimes artists need to know somebody to feel comfortable working with them.
Yeah.
So they'll get to meet Tom, they get to meet Jack, and then when the vibe is good, good work comes from that a lot of the time. So yeah. Right now it's a production house. I'm currently working on a partnership as well with Bianca Nielsen from Renegade Records. She's fantastic.
She's coming on. She wants to come on the podcast.
She's incredible.
Yeah,
That's gonna be great.
she's how old is she? 20?
I don't know. She's
killing it.
She's aged awesome.
Young
Whatever the age
entrepreneurs.
is. Yeah. And she's great. She's also got a very artist.
Yeah, I like that.
She's also got a very artist forward mentality, and she's the only person
dope,
that I've
bro.
met, and I've met a lot of people that I feel comfortable running a label with, and so the label that we're running together is called Moonbound. And so basically I'm just working on production and she does the label thing that she already does. We're both working on our forte, complement each other's work. She's also running a management company called Highline Management, so check that out if you need a manager.
Highline?
Highline.
Hardline.
Highline.
Highline.
High, like sky.
Highline.
Highline
Moonbound.
Management. Moonbound, Highline.
Highline. Skyrocket.
It's all,
It's all getting out of the atmosphere.
And she also runs Renegade Records, so check that.
Yeah.
And also, you know what? If you need to know her credentials and her chops, one of her artists with Renegade, she's just got them a brand deal. They are now being played. The music got put onto a Volkswagen ad, which is being aired in France.
So she does publishing, syncs, and stuff.
Oh, she does all kinds of stuff. She's fantastic.
So that's perfect.
She's someone
that's
where
perfect for you to get involved.
She's someone where she's evolved her services also to match what form the industry is going to take in 10, 15, 20, 30 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I think is super important. Instead of like looking like, oh, back in the 60s, they did this, so I'm going to try and be good at that. Fuck that, man. It's like, fuck that.
Yeah. You want to evolve.
You got to evolve. There's shit changes, man. And there's so many different ways to do the same thing. But yeah, so that's another thing that I sort of do is I run Moonbound with Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the actual operation of that is run by Bianca, right? I'm more in charge of like the asset creation stuff in hand with artists. So
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, the main thing I'm doing right now is active progress, and when we're headed to the future.
Yeah, talk about this shit because this is gonna pop.
Yeah. So right now we are planning to move to Sydney. It could be in as soon as like 3 weeks to maybe a month and a half right now because we just need to be approved on a house over there. What we'll be doing in Sydney is the same thing. It's a production house, so there'll be a crazy house. I've already worked with some really big name artists in Sydney, and I've got a lot of connections with people over there because I get a lot of interstate work. And so what I want to do is, I feel like everyone's got a connection to Melbourne. So many Adelaide people go to Melbourne and vice versa. Mostly Adelaide to Melbourne, but there's Perth has its own sort of thing going on, and so they sort of spring up a little bit more. Queensland has a lot of connection with Sydney. Really, that's about it as far as Sydney. No one else has that much of a direct connection unless you've got a reason to. But the music is like everyone looks up to Sydney's music, right? Yeah, everyone looks up to Sydney's music scene, and yet no one's really got that tight of a connection to it. So I'm going to go there with a production, move the production house to Sydney. Work with a lot of the artists over there. As is right now, the house that we're in right now, there's always people from the industry. Any given day of the week, there's people there from the industry. You could have Diaspora one day. You could have, Puppy the Heartbreak Kid from Melbourne in there another day. You could have, and I could go on. Like, there's always people there. I'm going to do that in Sydney. And then we're also going to have, it's going to be a big house with a lot of rooms. One of the rooms will be a guest room. So people from like Adelaide or whatever will be able to come over and build connections with those artists as well as get the best work they could ever imagine.
Exactly.
Done. And where I'm heading in the future with that is I want Active Progress and Moonbound and Renegade Records to be the top of the... I want to like reclaim the industry and bring it back to the people, you know what I mean? Because right now the industry is just not what people really listen to in general, right? If you look at the view numbers, that's all you need to see, you know? Like there might be
I know what you're saying. Dude, because there was a wave that I caught, which was like the XXX wave, really.
Yeah.
In hip hop, where all of a sudden so much attention, even globally, started going on. Oh, what's this new wave of sort of hip hop that's happening? That was like the Trippie Redd and like Ski Mask whole like wave that came through, and like even like Lil Xan and all those sort of guys came through at one point. And I think I started watching that, and then I just started getting a bit involved, just absorbing a lot of content of like in that scene and just the American hip hop scene, especially that new that was coming in, and looking at the interviews and like how many views some of these interviews would get, and just even looking at the tracks and how much views these tracks would get, and it's like that's not outside of the realm of possibility for anyone because of the internet now. It's just a matter of how do we like access that, and just shine, like you said, shine a light on it.
Yeah. And I think the answer to like how do we do that, I think that's like a work in progress. We're just going to keep working for it. Like I got my
active progress.
Well, exactly right. Well, I'm working on I'm like focusing on my own. Like I've got my own ways I'm trying to achieve it, but that might be incorrect. But that's cool. If they end up failing, then I will find another way to do it, and eventually I will get it. It's just a matter of time. You know what I mean? But I know where we're headed, and we're going to get there. So
fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah, so
that's dope,
man. Yeah,
I fuck with it, man.
Yeah,
you're doing really good shit out there, and
cheers, my bro.
And that's just another example of how you're really fucking serious about what you're saying, especially with the altruistic stuff. Because people want, I think, to believe in people who say they're doing good shit.
Yeah,
people really, especially these days, because there's so much like stuff out there, and a lot of it's disingenuous. Seeing someone like you, not just like talk about it, but then like really fucking doing it is inspiring for a lot of people. Like you're literally going to Sydney, you're going to create this like direct pathway for all these Adelaide connects that you've built up. And like literally some of them you've built up, through working with them and stuff. And then you're going to create a direct pathway to Sydney where there's a massive scene that's exploding now. And you're literally going to have a guest house where homies from Adelaide can just come and stay and just even network and just be around creatives. Like, other creators in Australia who are doing dope shit in a different sort of separate scene. Like that is, of course that's going to benefit the fuck out of you because it's going to help you grow and rightfully so. But it's also going to benefit everyone that you're involved with. Even more so.
think that especially with such a social industry like music, like I can only get as big as the scene as the industry. So at the end of the day, you got to build the industry, you know, to be able to build yourself. That sort of goes with a lot of things too, you know, like I don't fuck with Apple phones, you know. I always like Android, but if Apple didn't like invent the smartphone, you know, and if they didn't have direct competition, stiff competition from Android, you know what I mean? Then like people in general would be so much worse off. And it's like, even though they're getting like a fuck ton of money and profit and everything, by chasing that profit, now everyone's got a computer and access to the rest of the world in their pocket that they can bring out at any time, and they can. Think about how amazing that is for humanity. That's a big thing for humanity.
Competition like breeds like, you know, creativity and innovation and definitely like progress as well.
Yeah.
You know, dope, man. You know, do you want to change the world, Norlick?
I don't think about that, man. I just want to achieve what I want to achieve. You know, I just want to achieve what I want to achieve. I don't think about changing the world. That's a pretty big blanket thing to say.
But I mean, even if you change one pocket of like civilization, that's sort of in turn changing the world.
I want to change the music industry in Australia. I want to improve it, not change it. I want to better it. I want to make it huge. I'm not thinking so much about like, do I want to affect Africa or China or France or etc. 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 I don't speak their language or have any insight into what their culture is over there. So how can I say I want to improve something that I haven't? Yeah. You know, all I can say is like pragmatically things in the real world. I just want to build Australia up as far as the music industry, and
that's fucking dope.
Take that to another level, you know, and promote like shit that people actually want to hear too. Not the industry shit where it's like, you know, okay, you got like a dope grant and like you got some dude who runs some foundation to really like your shit, but and so now you got like money behind your stuff, but it's like how much do people on the street really listen to you? That stuff I'm not so What do people actually listen to? What reflects Australian culture? And you know, that's you know, and Australian culture is such a broad thing because we are ridiculously multicultural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like ridiculous. You know?
You can't really pin it down.
Yeah. And I feel like everything that's even the things that are, you know, put forward in the industry by people who are of another culture, it's the thing that satisfies the desires of the people already in the music industry and running that shit. Do you know what I mean? It's not what people really listen to on the street. There's a lot
of mentality about like, if you want to be successful, you need to go through these like, you know, specific like pathways to achieve success. And I see a lot of people unfortunately conforming their musical styles to try and create, and I've seen it so many times, and to be honest, it's sort of fucking sad. But like, they're literally creating a song that they think is going to like, they're conforming literally 100%, just making a song that they think is right now what's gonna pop off. It's not really like they're losing that sort of, maybe, you know, they're losing touch with maybe their own creativity, and it's more about, you know, how can I appease the mainstream industry. And that's why I really fuck with what you're doing, bro, because you're super in touch with the underground. And I think you talk a lot about like looking down the line, looking into the future 20, 30 years. And I think like you're just like smart, and you're just aware that these things are just growing. They're not going to slow down, and it's going to become super, super viable. You know, and if you can tap into that now and be a part of that movement, bro, it's going to be dope. I mean, is there anything else you want to say? Or like,
shout out to Yorke.
Shout out to him. Cheers,
this guy right here. Who the fuck drips like this? Like, you got fluoro yellow hair. You literally have like a highlighter on your head.
I've got a diamond, bro.
Dope, man. He's got a diamond on his head. That's nicely done too.
Thank you, bro.
This guy is seriously such a legend.
Oh, bro.
Seriously. You know, I've seen some people have been spamming dislikes on your shit. What a fucking bruiser.
Fuck
who is that?
Going hard.
Seriously, who is that motherfucker?
Dude.
If you know who it is, bro, tell me. Because, like, fuck that dude.
It's a bunch of people, bro. Or it's one dude with a bunch of accounts, hey?
Who? Seriously, no, it's probably one dude with a bunch of accounts.
Not 30 accounts.
It's one dude with a bunch of accounts. You know how I know that? Because there's never any comments. Every comment is always just like, dope, super insightful, this guy's a legend, that guy's a legend, Yorke, you're the best. Oh, Yorke, can you please let me fondle your balls? No one is ever there like, this was trash. Fuck you, Yorke. I hate you. No one ever. It's always just dislikes. Like they dislike botted us.
Bro, like what I actually honestly think it is, because I've had my YouTube like account for ages. Like I've just had it like active, but never really utilizing it.
Yeah.
And I started doing like with Talk with Yorke, like going harder with content. But I think what I was doing is like probably what a lot of people fucking do, and I just made some like average vlogs when I first started sort of putting stuff up.
Yeah.
And I just went on like subreddits, and I went on like 4chan like
Oh, so you're
threads,
posting stuff like that.
and I was posting out there,
Oh.
and I've just picked up trolls, bro.
good.
That's what I think.
Let them troll.
Exactly.
Let them troll.
I don't reckon.
Get mad.
I don't reckon they
Get
actually
angry.
even don't fuck with me. I think they just like
They just
are
don't like
trolls.
that you even try.
They just think it's funny.
This is going back to
Getting
those
the views
people.
up, by the way.
Oh, that's
Getting,
it.
exactly right.
This is going
It's
back
more
to
interactions.
This is going back to those sad individuals that hate their life and hate everyone that doesn't. Going like, oh, he's a happy person.
Bro.
He's clearly enjoying his life.
It could be some of that.
He's
bro.
got a great relationship with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Good on you for that.
Thank you.
You know, he's doing what he loves. He's, you know, everyone likes him. Fuck this guy, man. Why can't I be Yorke? Just like, that's what it is.
Well,
you know?
look, I would say to those people right now, like, if that's what you think, man, then, you know, like,
It's all love still.
send me a message. We can have a phone call. We can actually, you know, before you judge people just based on very surface level stuff,
Yeah.
you know, like, maybe get to know someone first. And,
Yeah.
you know, and
You'll like it.
And,
You talk to him, you'll like, he's a sick guy.
and you know what, this is the thing. I think this is the pessimism that when people see, like, certain people out there who are just actually genuinely, like, enjoying their life, people go, well, that can't be real. Like, you're just fronting, or you're just, like, you know, you're literally just, like, being fake because no one's actually that happy because they're not happy with themselves, so they don't think it's even possible.
Yeah.
But I'll just say, open your mind up to the fact that there is actual people out there who are trying to find a better way. There is actual people out there who genuinely don't care about the drama and they don't care about the negativity. They want to focus on just enjoyment and just, like, you know, bringing joy to their life. And maybe try to, instead of hating on those people, maybe try and, like, be inspired by that energy and get around those people, and, you know, you might actually start to feel more positive about your life, like, literally.
Yeah.
You know, I look up to people like you, man. I look up to people who are out there doing amazing stuff and who are happy. Like, I don't look at those people and go, fuck them. I see someone who's succeeding, or I see someone who's, like, really having a good old time.
Yeah.
And I have that reptilian brain. So there's a moment where I go, fuck your success. But it's like a millisecond.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just my human nature. But I'm trying to be bigger than that. So I don't let that speak really loud. I sort of acknowledge it. I go, cool, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
And then I focus on being inspired by, like, seeing that shit.
You know, I think people that are really prone to this whole, like, oh, fuck this. Okay, everyone needs to up their sense of personal responsibility. Where you are in life is basically up to you, and I don't care what you've been through. I'm just going to say that as a blanket thing. I've probably been through worse than most people, to be honest. So if I'm saying that, I know that so many people, I could give you a fucking laundry list of people where they're always on about how hard everything is and how unfair everything is and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, just focus on, like, making it better. Like, don't focus on what's bad. Focus on, like, what you can improve. You know what I mean? Because there's a list of shit in that bad stuff that it probably isn't even that bad, but you're making it worse by just focusing on how bad it is and being like, it's fucking everything. You know?
Bruh.
Now,
What can you do about it? What can you do about it?
Yeah. What can you do about it? And also, your day is ruined because you focus so heavily on that thing, and you set into motion.
Effect, yeah.
You set into motion this roller coaster of negative emotions that you're now experiencing. So just try and, like, dead that. You can't always dead it, but, like, you know, and I get, like, for a lot of people it's a mindset thing and it's like an attitude thing, and that you can't change that quickly by definition because it's just innate to you. Sometimes you have to work at it, but just, you know, focus on, like, you know what, like, all right, like, you know, I started out recording in my fucking bedroom, dude. Like, when we very first recorded anything, it was with a Guitar Hero mic, you know? And it was like,
True.
I wasn't sitting there going, like, you know what would have led to, like, me going nowhere is thinking, I'm recording through a Guitar Hero mic. This isn't even, no one fucking does this. And I've never been in a studio. This is stupid. This is just a laptop. Like, instead I was there like, all right, this is cool, whatever. All right, yeah, I'm getting experience from it, whatever. It sucks. I'm getting experience. But how much is the fucking USB mic? Oh, it's only like fucking $50 for a Samsung Meteor mic. All right, fuck this. Oh, this is Rode NT USB. It costs like $170. Oh, it's like almost a proper mic. I don't even have to buy it in. Okay, cool. So now I've got that, and then just always upgrading. You know, when I got my first pair of, like, proper studio monitors, I was upgrading to a pair of Yamaha HS8s from Logitech computer speakers.
Yeah, legit, those little light things.
I've only recently, like, as of last month, upgraded my headphones from the very first pair of proper headphones that I was using, and that first pair was a pair of Superlux 668Bs that cost me $30. And now I've upgraded to a $600 pair of Olo Audio S6Rs. I think that's what it is. Anyway, Yeah, and you know what I mean? So it's like, focus on like getting shit better and making the most of what you got as well, because part of getting good at anything as well, or part of like bettering yourself with life and getting good at life is adapting to the fucked shit and then moving past it, and then you adapt to that next level of less fucked, you know? And it keeps us going up. Yeah.
Fuck no, then like focusing on like what you can do with what you've got, as opposed to like
because that will lead you to getting
being a
more than what you've
victim
got
of your circumstance. Exactly. When you had that little Guitar Hero mic, bro, and what were you on Garage, or what were you using? Like, what was your first software?
Audacity.
Audacity, right? So you had like a
dude. When you were
mic.
trying to mix shit in Audacity, I couldn't even preview. Like I couldn't listen in real time with the effects. I had to just like, hopefully this setting sounds good. How's that? Alright, undo. Hopefully this one is better, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's
hours and hours just to set up a compressor, and I still wasn't setting it up right, you know?
Exactly, but there's so much focus on like people trying to get the finished product straight away without realising that it's like it's those slogging hours when you've got like fuck all but maybe a shitty Guitar Hero mic that really build character and really affirm like what the fuck you're doing. Because it's like I was thinking of this the other day, I'm like, you know, if I was there with a Guitar Hero mic, or like actually Jenna the other day recorded a podcast, one of the first ones that she's done. And shout out to the Mrs. Self Love Club movement. Yeah. Hey. And the mic was broken. And she knew it was broken, but it was sometimes working, sometimes not. She recorded a dope podcast with this chick, no audio. It was completely fucked. So she had to throw it out and she's upset, and I was like, look, it's obviously sucks, like there's no denying that. But guess what? If you now have this, if you have the urge to still go out there and do another one, then at least you realise that you actually want this.
Well, that's a bit of experience of what can go wrong, you know?
Exactly. And it's like, just make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you can like be that person who's literally in the fucking dirt and can grind in the dirt, then it's like, dude, like you're earning your fucking wings.
I think like a lot of people have a bad mentality about this because Western countries are fucking lit. We live so easy compared to like everywhere else in the world. Dude. It's like that people have no concept of what it's like to actually live bad, and so
no concept. Literally, no concept.
Literally, they don't understand what it's like to live. I grew up in a fucking country town with like nobody there.
Just bashing cunts and shit.
Just bashing cunts. Just swinging arms and but no, I'm a nice person. But fucking you know, like one of my artists that I'm going to record today actually is Aldine Noboya from AC5, and he's a Liberian or Sierra Leone Liberian. You know, it's complicated. He's in Australia because he escaped Ebola, and everyone was dying, and wars were happening, and everyone was dying. It's kind of fucked up, and he's got a more positive outlook than most of the people here, where it's like they don't have to pay rent because their parents own their house. You know, and it's kind of like, come on, man. Like at some point, you know, your problems are maybe your own creation. You know?
Yeah, and stop assuming that like just based on what you've seen on the surface that you fucking know someone's life, because you know, like honestly, it's like, you know, even us three in this room right now, like fucking shout out Jay the Ripper, he's still just like patiently. He's been very quiet and dope. Which
shout out
is
sick.
A lot of crews that come in aren't quiet, bro. So you actually thank you, bro. But like literally, like we're not gonna sit there and be like, yo, our life is so hard, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I know that all three of us have had our own tribulations and stuff like that, but we're not out there like projecting it. So people that are hating on us, that like they're just assuming that like, oh, you're probably some rich dude who's had everything handed to him, you're so happy and shit, you've never been through shit. It's like, no, actually I have.
Yeah.
But I actually have just like chosen to like want better.
But also
and not to accept like where I'm at and want to grow and evolve.
And I think it's a part of the human condition to have fucked up shit going on. Even if you like grew up in a rich as fuck family and had no like traditional problems, there'd be problems with that even then.
There's more suicide in like affluent communities and shit.
You know? So it's a thing. I'm gonna do something because I'm a dick.
Flip it up, brother.
Oh shit! What?
Dank.
Hectic.
That's dank, bro. That's dank.
Yo, Arky.
People can't read that, bro.
I'm trying to just like.
What's happening here?
You fucking do it.
For the people listening at home, Norlick's he's just flipping the whole script. He's flipping the whole script, bro.
Make no assumptions.
All right, dude. Well, you know, I think it's been a pretty deep podcast. Like, we could probably go for another fucking 2 hours.
Yeah.
And we could get into your whole story, like literally like your life story and like that.
Yep.
But maybe we'll save that maybe for the next podcast.
Another time.
When you come down from a visit from Sydney, bro.
Yeah.
Or even if I come up to Sydney, bro.
I'll be coming back heaps, yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You'll be coming up heaps too.
Yeah, fuck yeah, bro.
Everyone will.
I'm definitely keen, bro.
That's it.
Why the fuck not? You know, I'm down for what you're talking about, man. Everything you've been talking about, your philosophy, your vision. I'm 100% on board with it, bro. It's dope. And you know, the scene needs more people.
Big things. You're gonna do big things. He's gonna do massive things. This you right here, man. You do big things.
Big old things, you reckon?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hopefully, bro. Hopefully we can do big things together.
Absolutely, bro.
Seriously, thank you so fucking much for coming on Talk with Yorke, bro.
Anytime, bro.
I'll
come on again.
Yeah, bro. You will be coming on again, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
You know what? Speaking of like improvement and actively progressing, this is first of all, this is fucking dope.
Cheers, bro.
He's got a dog here. Can they see the dog?
Yeah, of course. No, they can't see him, but they're allowed to.
Guys, like.
I've got a dope dog, bro. Oh, he's actually the best, though. Look how much he's loving it.
Oh, you should be a good boy.
He's loving it.
He's got a dope dog that's just chilling, but he's how well behaved. He knows filming's on, so he's not really trying to get up in our shit.
Yeah,
he's probably like, oh, you're gonna ruin the shoot right now. You ready? Good boy. But you got a dope dog. And even this is so dope. Look at this. This is dope, and it's upside down. I love that. Everything here is dope.
Keep it like that.
This is like Love Gang personified in one image.
This is Love Gang, bro.
It's dope.
You know what? Next time you come, I'm gonna have this flipped up.
But you know what I was gonna say, man? This compared to what you're going to be doing in a year, you'll probably look back in a year and be like, oh, that was fucking embarrassing. Oh, that's trash.
That's it. I want to evolve, bro. I want to keep fucking evolving and leveling up.
You got the perfect mentality to do it, man.
And so will you, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking like keen as fuck to see what we're like when we're like 30 years old. Bro.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, you're 30 now.
In a month, yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Dude, thank you so fucking much. Keep up the awesome work, bro.
Yep.
So excited to see like what you're going to build. It's going to be fucking amazing. And just wish you all the best for the future, bro. And
cheers, my bro.
Love gang and keep it real, brother.
Love gang to the end.
Thank you so much, bro.
Hey.
Yeah. Fuck. Done, bro. Yeah, dope.
You definitely need to edit that, though.
Yeah, I might look at that.
Or, I mean...
I'm not carried away, man.
I just like talking. I like how at the end I sneakily stole some of the fucking